Hey guys, so I'm going to talk about something very important that I regret about my high school experience because I've been thinking about it a lot recently and I think it would be valuable for everyone to hear me out. And as you can see from the title, that regret would be sleep and my sleep schedule and how I just didn't care about my health regarding my sleep and how that made everything else in my life awful. So a little bit of background, I was a pretty good high school student. I got A's and B's, I was taking AP classes, and I was doing really well throughout high school academically. Up until my senior year. And looking back, I have found a correlation between how little I was sleeping senior year and how awful I was doing, not just academically, but also in managing my own mental health and also like my relationships, pretty much every aspect of my life. So my senior year, I started sleeping probably an average of 2 to 3 hours a night. I would go to bed at about 3 or 4 a.m. and I would have my alarm set for 6 so I could get up and go to school. I was just content living like that. Oh boy, that messed me up real good. The amount that I was learning and the amount that I felt confident in what I was doing academically went down a whole lot. For example, I had been taking Latin since 8th grade, and my senior year I decided to take AP Latin, and I had absolutely no idea what was going on the entire year. And no matter how hard I tried to figure out what was going on, I did not understand anything we were talking about, and I was not doing well. Despite having been familiar with the language for 5 years and always doing really well in it, my senior year I just stopped functioning in that class and functioning in general. I was getting in a lot of arguments and conflicts with my friends and my relationships. I didn't know how to deal with my mental health at the time, and it was all just a big old mess. I've been looking back on this a lot because I am currently taking a class in college about sleep. There are some things that people should just know that we've talked about in this class that are never brought up. Like, yeah, people tell you to like get enough sleep and that it'll make your life better or whatever, but there are never actual explanations to support that. And now that I've heard explanations, I look back on the time in my life when I was sleeping so little and when my life was so bad, and I'm just like, why didn't I just go to sleep? That would have solved all my problems. So I just want to share some things I've learned in this class with you guys. It really would have benefited me in the long run to know this last year when I was majorly messing up my sleep schedule and thus my entire life. So this is specifically directed at anyone watching this who sleeps less than 7 hours a night and thinks that you're doing okay. This is at you. Please pay attention. Psychologists did a psychomotor vigilance test, which basically measured reaction time after having deprived people of sleep for certain amounts of time. So when you sleep for less than 8 hours, you accumulate sleep debt, which you eventually have to make up in order to rejuvenate and function at your best. And you might think, as I used to think, that sleeping 6 hours is not that bad. It's just close to the average, it's good enough. But actually what the study found is that if you sleep for 6 hours a night consecutively over a few nights, your functioning starts to go way down than if you had slept for 8 hours consecutively over a few nights. Meaning that people who had slept for 8 hours were functioning at the desirable level. But for people who had only slept for 6 hours for a few nights, their functioning started to mimic the functioning of people who had pulled all-nighters the night before. So that means if you got 6 hours of sleep last night and the night before, you are going to be functioning as well as someone who pulled an all-nighter and has not slept at all. A lot of people think that 6 hours is okay, and a lot of people justify even sleeping less than that, like 5 hours or 4 hours, or in my case, 2 to 3 hours a night. But imagine living every day as if you've pulled an all-nighter. That would have major impacts on a lot of different areas of your life. So possibly the most interesting thing about the study that they did is that after they had deprived people of sleep and tested their functioning levels, they also gave them a survey to ask how well those people thought that they were functioning. And all of the people who had been sleep deprived and who were functioning at much lower levels than their average 8 hours of sleep functioning thought that they were functioning completely fine and at their best. When in reality, after you have accumulated so much sleep debt, you're actually functioning at the level of someone who's drunk. And a lot of people would admit that if you're drunk, you're not going to function as well, which is why you can't drive. Yet these people thought that they were functioning fine even though the sleep deprivation had wildly impaired their functioning. I find it really frustrating how people never talked about sleep as I was growing up, the way that they talked about dangerous things like drinking and driving, because in reality it's just as dangerous to drive while sleep deprived as it is to drive legally drunk. So back to my 17-year-old self in my senior year of high school, her life could have been so much better if she had just gone the fuck to sleep. There were so many things I know I could have done better in high school if I had just gone to sleep and not taken sleep health for granted. And I also wish I had taken more care of myself and had more patience and understanding and communication with the people around me senior year. And I think I could have just avoided all of these bad things if I had just slept and improved my functioning as a result. So I really just want to emphasize this for people who don't get enough sleep, because yeah, it's like quirky and cool and kind of the norm to just not sleep, and you're an adolescent, so it's fine. But actually, it's really gonna mess up your life and you're not gonna be doing your best. I know it's not super easy to change lifestyle choices at the flick of a switch, but I do think when you know the impact that your choices have on you and how much better your life could be if you change this one thing, I think it is worth putting effort into. So that was your intervention from Mel. Please take care of yourselves and make good choices. We talk about a lot of really interesting things in this class, like dream analysis and other tips for making your sleep health better. If you want me to make more videos discussing some of the things that we talk about in this class, I would totally do that if you let me know. Anyways, that's it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time I make a video. I feel like I've really changed as a person, and I've gone from someone who just complains on YouTube to someone who gives constructive criticism and life advice. That's what being an adult is, right? Sure. Okay.